In this tutorial, we're going to be looking at how to export a file from 3ds Max into Rhino, and we're going to do a comparison and analysis between the shading modes in 3ds Max and Rhino. So to begin, in 3ds Max, from the weekly exercises, in section A, we have already modeled a parcel of Footscray, and we've also added in our V-Array lighting systems, and they have been set at 2-hour intervals, so 8, 10, 12, 2, and 4 p.m. And they're taken during the winter equinox, which is the 21st of the 6th for this year. So as you can see, it has generated some shade, and what that means is we have red and green and slightly some blue in this section here. The red means that these spaces receive too much direct harsh radiation from the sun. The green ones means that it receives a good amount, and then the blue one is fair, which is in between those two. So something else I want to show you is the surface is a V-Ray light meter. So what it actually allows you to do is if you put text on, it will come up with all of these numbers. And what these numbers mean is the higher the number, the more sunlight that section is getting. And then the lower number, the less sunlight. So as you can see, sections such as these are receiving fewer sunlight, and then sections in our model such as this and this are receiving higher sunlight, and this can be due to the fact that they're lower in density. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn off that text again, and now I'm going to export the file into Rhino, and we're going to do a comparison between the two. So select the objects. I'm going to go export, and I'm going to replace the file and make sure that it's saved as an OBJ exporter. Save that. Once that's done, open up your Rhino, go into File, Import, and select that file, and it's over here. I'm just going to rotate it to the right side by clicking Shift. And then I'm just going to down onto the grid. Okay, so now this is our model that has been exported and extruded as well. So what I'm going to do now is change the view to rendered, and then in the commands section I'm going to use sun. So in Rhino, the sun is what allows you to get the shading, and the sun will only work if you are in rendered mode. If you are in shaded mode or any other modes, it will not show. You are also able to create your own shading viewports if you wanted partial or different colors or whatever. So I'm going to turn on the sun. Make sure that you are here in Melbourne. And then on the light bulb, just make sure that your sun is turned on, and also your skylight is also turned on. I'm going to change the date to the winter equinox, which is the same as the one in 3ds Max, so we can do a better comparison. So you can either manually change the date and the time through just moving the slider or selecting now for the current time that we're in, or you can just type it in as well. So I'm just going to go back. And then using this time slider, you can see the shading, and you also don't need to put a surface underneath because the rendered mode just creates a white background, so it allows you to see the shadows in detail. So that's simply how you do it in Rhino. I'm going to put these side by side. So one of the main differences between these two is in Rhino you cannot see the sunlight as an average, rather it's more as time. You can also type the time in here, whereas in 3ds Max you can insert various light bulb fixtures or light fixtures, and you can get an average of the time, the shading in terms of that time. In Rhino, it is the opposite, so you have to do it individually. So if you want one at 9, and then you want one at 11, 12, or 1, whenever, you would have to actually move the slider and get your shadows like that. In 3ds Max as well, it comes up as color codes and also numeric values to allow you to analyze the sun shadows. So you've got the red and the green, whereas in Rhino it's more simple and it just shows you where these buildings will be reflected to. So as you can see, there's some change here in this section. Compared to the outside. So the outside doesn't really matter because we don't have context. I'm sure that would change if you were to have context around, but because we don't, we're just going to focus on the inner sections. And another difference is it is a lot easier to change these values in Rhino compared to 3ds Max. In 3ds Max, you need to go into your editor and insert the light bulbs using the commands, whereas in Rhino, it's just as simple as typing in sun, and then you only have a more of a limited option in terms of what it is that you want to play around with compared to 3ds Max, and it's a lot more straightforward. And yeah, I think this is a very simple way for you to have a look at shade. This is obviously more of a generic way compared to 3ds Max, which is a lot more in detailed, and it allows you to analyze more comprehensively.